All right, some of us last class got a little bit of work done with this in the teacher seminar. And if you weren't with me for teacher seminar last class, that's okay. We're just going to kind of move on from what we were trying to do last class with pathways and really get everyone working on this so that we're ready for next class. Next class, I'm going to ask you to write about the prompt that I'm going to share with you right now. And today we'll have some time just to get started and get ready for what you'll be writing next class based on this prompt. This will be summative next class, so just know that. That's what we're working towards here in the rest of our class today. So the prompt here says to compare and contrast. This is a close read with Museum Indians, and we're comparing and contrasting Museum Indians with that poem we read, My Mother Pieced Quilts. That's in your workbook as well. You can find it a few pages before Museum Indians. And it says here, both My Mother Pieced Quilts and Museum Indians are about love and family history. Compare and contrast the speakers in the two texts and how they interact with their mothers, as well as the way they describe their family history. Remember to support your ideas with evidence from the text. Use your constructed response planning template from Schoology to help you write your response. And that's what we're going to be working on here today. So you'll have that to help you next time as you write this. It's also going to tell you that your response should include 4 short paragraphs. One will be comparing how the speakers interact with their mothers in each of these two texts. Then you'll be contrasting how the speakers interact with their mothers in each text. So compare, contrast about interacting with the mothers. And then a comparison and a contrast about the descriptions of family history in each text. We'll have 4 short paragraphs that we'll be writing next class. To get you ready, we have this constructed response planning template. You're going to find it on Schoology. You'll open that up and fill it out today in a chunk of time that we're going to give you. I'll come back in a little bit and give you some thoughts on what I said before class is done, but that's where you're going to find it. When you get into it, you're going to see 2 different slides that look pretty similar, but the thing on the bottom is different. Compare and contrast mother-daughter interactions is your first one. So think about what happens in Museum Indians, think about what happens in My Mother Pieced Quilts, and go ahead and see what's similar and see what is different. And remember that these differences should kind of align with one another. So if you have something over here, it should kind of match up with this one in a similar sort of way. The second slide you'll see is comparing and contrasting the descriptions of family history in each of these pieces. So go ahead and check that out. You'll see that on Schoology. And I'll be back in a little bit to show you some examples of what I came up with. But I bet you can find some great stuff on your own using those texts in your workbook and using this on Schoology. Go ahead, get started.